Today I'm going to be talking about some of the biggest life lessons that chess has taught me. Now, obviously, chess is a game, as we all know, but chess is more than a game in my opinion. To me, it really, the mindset that I have when I approach chess, it's massively affected how I've lived my life in general. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. So the first reason that I think chess has affected my life so much is because it makes me completely self-accountable, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, self-accountability, right? Taking responsibility for your actions. You are in control of your actions, and therefore you're responsible for things that you do and things that happen to you, right? Now, I think that a lot of people are very quick to blame external... Oh my god. A lot of people are quick to blame external circumstances for things that happen in their lives. And a lot of things, well, I don't know if a lot of things, but definitely some things that happen in your life, external circumstances play a big role in that, for sure. Personally, I don't think that that's very helpful to actualize, because if you take agency away from yourself by saying, this happened to me because of external force that I can't control, then you literally just gave yourself less power, less agency, right? Chess has taught me to take full responsibility for my actions and to know that I am that I have a high level of agency, because in a game of chess there are no external forces, right? And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about chess. And what I mean by that is, when you play a game of chess, you are moving your pieces, your opponent is moving their pieces. Now, you might say, oh yeah, but Alex, if you're playing online chess, you could lag and then the game disconnects. Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, you can be correct if you really want, but let's say, you've got an analog clock, so nothing can go wrong, and you're sitting across from your opponent and you're playing a classical game of chess. That is completely you versus your opponent. If you win, you did well and your opponent did badly. If you lose, that's your fault. You should have played better moves. And you could say, oh yeah, but your opponent out-prepared you and used the engine to fully study up on your openings and just caught you in an opening trap. That's also your fault. You fell for it. You could have figured it out, but you didn't, right? It's completely your fault. And that's what I love about chess. When you win, it's your doing. When you lose, it's your doing. When you draw, it's your doing. And that gives, in my opinion, you full power and full agency over your actions. And how does that apply to life in general? Well, for me, I love going to the gym, for example. I'm actually driving home from the gym right now when I'm recording this video. I know that my health and my body is a reflection of the actions that I take to improve or deteriorate my body and my health, right? So if I decide that I'm going to eat, I don't know, a whole bag of chocolate, I don't know why I said a bag of chocolate, but a ton of chocolate, right? And I feel bad the next day, as in my body feels a bit weird because I've just taken in a load of sugar for no reason. Guess whose fault that is? That's my fault. Now, I could have said, oh yeah, but my girlfriend gave me the chocolate and I felt peer pressured by her to eat the chocolate. You can try to take that scenario and kind of hand off the responsibility to that external force. However, if you instead take the chess mindset of no, actually you are in full control of your actions and you have full power over your actions, right? Then I know that I could have just said no, I actually don't want the chocolate, or okay, I'll just have a little bit of the chocolate and so that won't affect me too much tomorrow, right? I have the power to do that. And chess has taught me that. And it genuinely just changed the way that I live life. Like for the past, 4 years, I'd say, 3 or 4 years, my life has changed drastically because that aspect of chess, as I've gotten better at chess, I've taken that and used it in my life. And I mean, I love my life. I think it's paid off dividends. So please, if there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be that. When you play a game of chess, everything that happens is your responsibility. We all know this to be true. We all know this to be true. So apply that to life, and your life will massively improve. I mean, I actually don't want arguments against that because I know I'm correct. Anyway. So, what else has chess taught me? Well, over the past couple of months, I've been really thinking about something that I've dubbed the Magnus mindset when I'm playing chess. And obviously, one of the things that Magnus Carlsen, obviously, is best known for is how he takes positions, particularly endgames, that should be drawn, and he just keeps going and going and going, and he somehow squeezes a win out of the game. That is something that I've been using in my own chess a lot recently, and I've recently have hit 2250 in online blitz, which, okay, it's online blitz, whatever, but I've been winning positions that I have no right to be winning because they should be completely drawn, because I've adopted this mindset of just keeping on going and going and going and pushing and pushing and pushing until I get something, right? Instead of just resigning to the fact that, oh, it's a draw, I'll just shuffle the pieces, and then you probably end up losing anyway because you don't pay proper attention, right? Now, why does that apply to my life? And why could that apply to your life? Well, for me, oh my God, for me, that Magnus mindset has really just helped me to be incredibly persistent. And if I know that there is something to be gained from a situation, then I can just keep pushing and pushing until I get that thing. And what's a good example of that? I mean, it could be difficult to come out of it, but for me, the thing that first comes to mind is in the gym. A lot of this is going to be related to the gym. I could relate it to entrepreneurship because I also do that separate from my chess stuff, but I think the gym is easier to understand, so that's why I'm taking it to the gym, and also I just love going to the gym. So, how can that be applied to everyday life and going to the gym? Well, today, actually, was a great example of that. I was training back today, so I was doing pull-ups, lat pull-downs, dumbbell rows, cable rows, and over the past, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks, I have been hating all of my back workouts. I've been absolutely despising training back. I don't know why, I just haven't been feeling it, right? And I felt like I was plateauing, as in I wasn't making any progress. Sounds familiar to a game of chess where you might be in an objectively drawn end game, trying to push and push it. Well, not even trying to push, but knowing that you shouldn't really be getting anything out of this, but you can keep pushing to try and get something. And that's exactly what I did in the gym today, which is one of the reasons I actually was inspired to make this video. So I got into the gym, I really wasn't feeling it, I did some pull-ups, it still felt kind of bad, I really wasn't enjoying it. And so I just tried tweaking a few things, I changed up my exercises. So if we relate this to a game of chess, maybe you're in a rook and pawn endgame and you're struggling to make any progress, and you try something a little bit different, a little bit out of left field maybe, to just try and grind something out of the position, right? Would be similar to me switching up my pull-ups, which is what I was doing, to changing it for some lighter sets of lat pull-down, which I wouldn't normally do. And I kept pushing. I put on some different music. I put on some heavy metal as opposed to listening to podcasts like I normally do. Just made a few tweaks, and by the end of the session, I was really enjoying it. I really, really was. And so I gained something that had I not pushed to get, I wouldn't have gotten. Does that make sense? So if you take a chess endgame and you adopt this Magnus mindset, and you shouldn't really be getting anything out of the endgame, and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you try a few different things to try and force a way through the position, and you get rewarded, and you manage to beat your opponent. And sometimes you won't. Sometimes you will just draw anyway. But let's say in 40% of the games, something happens. You may still end up in a draw, but something happens, right? And that's exactly what happened today for me in the gym. I wasn't going into it with any level of excitement. I was like, oh my god, I have to train back today. I really don't want to do this. And I just went for it. I just kept pushing and pushing. I tried a few different things. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? That was actually a good workout. I actually really enjoyed that. That was worth it, right? I don't think I can really come up with any other things off the top of my head right now in terms of how chess has helped me in my own life. There are many, many things, and I do have an old video I made on the channel which also went over some other bits, like things like emotions and emotional control I have spoken about before. I can make another video on that if you guys want, so please leave me some comments down below. If you disagree with me, go ahead, disagree. I'm more than up for a bit of a discussion. And if you want me to address anything else in a future video, please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was useful. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.